Welcome to Wednesday Night Live from the Basement. Here's your hosts, Rob, Daryl, and Joe.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the basement. It's Wednesday. I'm Rob, that's Joe, and that's Daryl, and that's all there is. We got no guest tonight. How you doing, gentlemen?
Good. I see I'm the only one that dances in my chair when the intro is playing. I know you guys are big dancers normally. I'm not sure why you're not moving around.
Well, my son normally, he's in the next room, and he normally hears the music.
He's
a little my YouTube channel, but he likes the music. Talking about you. You want to say hi to the internet? No? Okay.
Okay.
Doesn't want to say hi.
He answered that fairly quickly this evening, didn't he?
I know.
Well, my son tried to convince me to have his stuffed animal say hello to the internet tonight, and I said no.
Oh, well.
Yeah.
He wants to. We got Brian in the house all the way from Tokyo. How you doing, Brian? And we got Chris all the way from Wales. And we got Trevor all the way from the Pacific Northwest. We're all across the world here tonight.
We got everything going on.
This is almost like we're important, but we know we're not. So
yeah, exactly.
Thanks for joining us, guys. 2026. It's the 7th, and it's the new year, which kind of feels like the old year, I guess. I don't know. You guys have a good New Year's? Because we had our little New Year's Eve thing, and then we all went and watched TV with our wives because we're boring.
Yeah, I got the Stranger Things in, and that was good. And it was good. Hey, quick though, before I forget, and while he's still here, not that he's going to bugger off, but I don't know if you guys got these yet or not. You did, right? Yeah. So, Daryl, I'm not sure. Maybe you didn't get yours yet. I don't know, but
I don't think so. I don't, unless somebody gave Brian my address. I don't know if he sent them.
Oh, okay. Well, he's going to send one now because we're going to say good things about him, but not just because he sent us cool things, but because he's a good dude. That's why. But yeah, so Rob, I see you got yours, and I think I don't know if they're all different. Let me see the front of your card. I'm not sure if they're a little different.
My address and Brian's address, but yeah,
my address is on there. Yeah. It's not that close, but yeah, you're right.
You know what I loved about this? Brian typed these on a typewriter.
He did,
which I just loved. I mean, that's Brian, right? There's just something cool and eccentric about it, and I absolutely love it. And he typed a nice little letter in there. I posted a little snapshot of this on my community page, and I tagged Brian in it. So
yeah, I've been meaning to do a thank you, but yeah, you're right. Like a nice little personalized note. I did notice that he has got a video. I'm not sure if it was live or not. Brian does a lot of posting, which is good because his stuff's fantastic. But he was talking about he has a friend, I believe, in Tokyo, a Canadian that lives there, that sent him a note, and it's inspired him. And so thanks, Brian. Appreciate that very much. It was very cool. I don't know the last time I got something that wasn't a bill in the mail, which is on top of it being fantastic note and a fantastic sticker. And, there you go. The doorbell rings and everything's good. So it's been a while. It's been a minute, as the kids say, since I got a letter in the mail. But that was pretty fantastic. So.
Yes. Record Hound joining us all the way from St. Catharines, Ontario. Welcome. Glad to see you every week. Richard apparently was too busy to join us because he's, working or something. So we'll forgive you this time, Richard.
Yeah.
You're on probation.
Yeah.
Work's overrated, Richard.
Exactly. If I didn't need money, I wouldn't do it.
Double secret probation.
And there's Julie. Welcome.
Hello, Julie.
Hello.
Haven't seen Julie for a bit, or at least haven't seen her. You never know exactly who's in the comments until they actually say something in the comments. Usually she does, though. So
it's hard to see when there's what is there now 783 people watching right now. So
exactly right. I mean, it's not as bad when it's under 1,000. That makes it a little easier.
Exactly.
But when it starts to get into quadruple digits, it gets tough.
Julie may need to stick around because I may or may not have a record from La Belle Provence today. So we'll see.
Very nice. There you go.
Ryan is saying I have a list of all the people I've sent them out, and if you've sent me their address and haven't gotten one yet, they're still being sent out. So
there you go. Good. Yeah, that's awesome.
Thanks for the kind words and the shout out. We're sincere. We mean it, Brian. You're one of the best out there. So
Yeah, just great personality. Love the content. Presented well. Just all the things you look for when you're watching stuff on YouTube and Instagram and all the other places that Tokyo Record Style comes to you from. So,
I think about. I haven't made a lot of videos in the last. I've been doing like 1 a month, 2 a month because I'm sort of. I don't know if the wells run dry or whatever, but I only have so many records, and I've talked about a lot of things, and I wonder about what to talk about next. And I just, every time I'm in that slump, I think of Brian, and I'm like, he comes up with all these great ideas, and I'm just like,
yeah,
I'm too creatively stunted to come up with something. So, yeah. It is what it is. Someone's doing a good job, and it ain't me. So,
yeah. Well, Daryl is doing a good job, and he's got a new thread that is out. He's participated in some, but Daryl, you're running one as well. Why don't you tell everybody about that?
Yeah. So I ran a vinyl tag this year. It's called the Canadian Stereotypes Vinyl Tag. If you want to check it out, I can't leave a link down below, but
I'll leave a link down below. How about that?
Yeah. So if you want to check it out, basically you don't have to show Canadian records. I mean, you can try to show as many as you want. I mean, I didn't even have enough to do all Canadian myself, but it's based upon the I Am Canadian rant. So which
was a Molson's beer commercial for those not
Canadian
in Canada.
Beer commercial based upon that. So I tried to have fun with it, and I know Peter from Music is a Journey thought it was a pretty cool when he actually said that he was holding off on doing some other stuff until he got that done because he thought it was a neat idea. So I tried.
I loved it.
There's some actually pretty neat vinyl tags this year. Like I did the album art one that Jack from Vinyl Voyage did. I thought that was a really fun one. But there's some pretty cool ones. There's the Prague one now. I think Alex posted that, and of course Sam's Americana one, which I may have to ask your permission to do what you kind of did that one time because I don't think I can do an American one.
Let her rip. I'm gonna post later tonight my unofficial vinyl tag. The response to David Atkinson's tag. That's done. I just have to upload it, so that'll go up later this evening. And then I'm gonna do your Canadian Stereotypes because I love it, and I'm gonna do it all Canadian artists. So that'll be fun. And then I promised Sam I would do his Americana tag.
Yeah, for sure.
They're gonna be busy. What are you gonna do?
There you go. You got lots
I think that's just it. There's so many tags out there that just gotta do them whenever.
I haven't seen the album art tag, but I'm intrigued, so I'm gonna go check that. I'll probably do that one as well. And then I think I'll be tagged out probably.
Tag you're it.
So, do we have anything exciting to talk about?
I don't know. I did Daryl's tag. I actually did a video in the
did.
I did.
I'm gonna have to relook at it, but I don't know if it was yesterday or the day before. This is the start of my 3rd year in the VC.
Yeah.
And Rob was my 2nd subscriber.
There you go.
After my wife gave me a pity sub.
Oh, well, there you go.
Okay, here you go. Here's one for starters anyway. Well, that's good.
I think my 2nd or 3rd subscriber from like 4 years ago, if he's still watching, is Trevor from Flat Round and Spun.
Yeah.
Nice.
So. Very nice. And so
I'm actually at 299. I think I need the one more to get to 300.
Wow.
Well, we'll get you that tonight.
There
Satan Roax's official. If you're not subscribed to the Northern Vinyl Guy, get in there. Because I think everybody else is. I think everybody else that's in the comments anyway. So
yeah, probably.
Right?
Yes, I was Richard's first subscriber because Richard used to watch our channel or watch our show every week, which he still does, obviously. And I remember there was a video popped up one day, and it was something like, "I'm Richard S." or "Who's Richard S." or whatever. It was kind of like a teaser video. And I'm like, holy shit. So I had to sub that right away. That was great. So here he is. There's Trevor.
Yeah, there you go. Awesome. Good. Yeah. And then I have decided to, not only am I doing videos, but that one anyway, probably, I don't know, we'll see if there's any more, but I'm going to resurrect the game show. I found a couple of willing contestants that will be the base contestants, and then we'll rotate in everybody else. It's a lot different than it was before. Wasn't bad before, but this will give more. This will allow for more interaction between the hosts and the guest, and that. So I think it'll be fun. And if anybody is here that has some time after we're done here, and then a half an hour after that, we need a third for tonight. We're going to do a little bit of a test run. The first official one's going to be next week. I've got all rock and roll questions, well, music questions planned. And I've got a bunch of episodes ready to go, or at least the boards are ready to go. Tonight's just going to be a general one. So I just want to kind of put it out there and see how it flows and see how it works before we start to use up the rock and roll ones. And my two test subjects have decided or agreed, at least they did before we started this, that they're going to help me later on, and we're going to try that. So that'll be on my channel, which is what the hell is my channel? Racer Records.
Racer Records.
I don't do anything on there. It's here, and it's the stuff at the store. But yeah, Racer Records. I think everybody that's on the side has already joined. And if you're watching this later and you want to look for that later, then look for Racer Records. So there you go.
We'll remind everyone at the end of the show tonight.
You need a third for later, so let me know.
Watching Joe. Joe, there's been a pop culture Jeopardy on Prime right now. It's like 40 episodes.
Yeah,
I've been binge watching that.
Yeah, that was pretty good. Joanne and I watched that too. Yeah, there was actually a team from Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. So
they won. Well, they won the first match. I'm only on like 5 or 6, so I don't know if they got past that part. But
yeah, they won their first one, and then I'll let you see what happens after that. But yeah, they had the big comeback in the first one. So
that was a big comeback.
It was actually, yeah. So yeah, it's going to be fun. It's a revamped version of what I was trying to do before, but hopefully some people will watch. And if you want to partake, let us know. And then if you want to partake down the line, let me know as well. So there you go. Ta-da.
Cool. Before I fall asleep, I apologize. I am wicked tired. So if I'm nodding, just yell at me. We're talking tonight about new musical discoveries of 2025. It's the new year, so we figured we would talk about, new things that we discovered last year. It could be an artist you've never heard of. It could be an album you were unfamiliar with. It could be an album from someone that, but you hadn't given them a shot before. Just something new that you like to the point that you sort of consider it something you love, or something that's in your regular rotation, or something along those lines. So new discoveries is our topic.
Maybe you'll make some new discoveries as we go along, right? Maybe.
I always go last. Which one of you guys wants to go first?
Daryl can go first.
I knew you were going to say that.
I don't know.
Here you go. Blow us away, Daryl.
All right. So the way that I approach this for new discoveries is I've got a mixture of all kinds of things. So new albums that I've never seen, or musicians that I've never seen. Some of these may also be famous bands that we all know, but maybe it's an album I'd never heard before that I got this year for the first time. And then there's others that I just straight up never heard anything from them. So, or even a refresher. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with this. This is kind of my golden gem of 2025. I can't remember if I've shown it on your channel yet, Rob, but
nope.
Steven Sanchez and Angel Face. I think this is 2022, 2023. There was one song off of this that I heard through a student a few years ago, and I was like, man, kids still listen to that kind of music. If you look at the cover and you look at the back, for the most part, you're going to be like, man, that's 1960s music. And it's kind of what it is. It's a spin of 1960s music, but in a 2023 style. So, yeah, Steven Sanchez, he's got all kinds of videos online on YouTube. The one track that is on here that was a big hit is Until I Found You. I know Lloyd from Mr. Hats down in Australia. He really likes this. He's been trying to promote this one too. I know Steve from A is for Alice. He tried to listen to it, but he said it was about 50-50. But the way that I look at this album is if you like the Everly Brothers, the Righteous Brothers, that kind of sound, that's what this is, but in a 2023 version. So that is I guess I would say my hidden gem of 2025.
So the student that turned you on to that, what is their normal genre jam, or do they have one? Are they fairly eclectic? Like, how did that?
I don't know what kind of music he listens to per se, but so this is where I am in my teaching career. Is I taught his mother way back when I first moved up here. There's about 20 students I've had now that I've taught either their parents or an aunt or an uncle or something along those lines. And his mom used to sing. And as a project in an English class, I remember this. She sang Joey by Concrete Blonde and recorded it because she was they were doing a novel study on alcoholism. And she thought it felt the theme, which it definitely does. And I remember that distinctly. So I think he gets it from his mom. I'm not sure what kind of music he listens to, though.
That's all right. That's good. That's good. He discovered it from somewhere, and then you did from him. So that's awesome. That's good.
Yep.
We got Rob Walker in the house. And how you doing, Rob? And his latest discovery is
Nilüfer
Yanya. I probably fucked that up. Safe to say I am unfamiliar with that musical artist. You guys know?
No, not familiar with. No.
All right. I'm going to Google this because I'm curious.
Yeah, that's what I was doing as well.
Nilüfer
Yanya, Yanya.
Well, look at that. Oh my. She's not hard on the eyes. British singer, songwriter, and musician. Indie rock, alternative rock. Well, I'm sold now.
Yeah, that's a good start for sure.
Her music is similar to Susie and the Banshees and the Breeders. Okay. Well, that's interesting.
We'll give her a YouTube spin later.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Cool.
Thanks for the suggestion, Rob. Julie's saying Jacob Roberge, the passing album musician from Quebec. I'm going to check that out too because I like Quebec musicians.
Julie, do they sing English, French, a little of both? Not that it matters, just a question. So yeah.
Jacob Roberge. Progressive rock singer, songwriter, composer, arranger, and multi-instrumentalist.
Cool.
Well, that sounds interesting as well.
And Julie says in English, because I know you're looking down, but she said English. So yeah, cool.
Well, French isn't a deal breaker. My French is okay.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, no.
I know enough to get by. I don't flex that muscle often enough. That's why I'm a little rusty. So
yeah.
Those are two good tips. That's awesome.
There, we're learning things already.
Whether we try to or not.
That's right. Yeah. I was days old when I learned.
Exactly.
So my angle this evening is artists that I have seen as opening acts that I was maybe a little aware of or not aware of at all that then impressed me, and I bought the vinyl and or have been a fan for a number of years because some are going to be new and some are going to be old. And I've talked about this gentleman before. I saw him open for the Dead South. His name is Henry Wagons. He is a country folk singer out of Australia. There's Henry on the back. He's got a little bit of sparkly going on, and he's got the sparkly cowboy shirt going on as well. Good stuff. interesting. I listened to this again today, and I still like it. So it's a good thing. But a couple of the titles to give you a little bit of an idea, maybe not that a title always gives you an idea, but Felix Granger, The Finger Picking Boy, and I think I've said that one before. I've got a couple of them. He only had 2 at the show to buy, or I might have bought all of them that he had. I think this is his second official. There was one not on the label, but this is his sophomore effort. I walk the same way to work. So there you go. It gives you a little bit of an idea, maybe by a couple of the titles, but good stuff. And again, he opened up for the Dead South. Joanne and I went a while ago, and very impressed. It was just him. There was another guy that kind of did some keyboard stuff and some bass for him and things like that. But great stories in between, humorous stories, just a very good presentation. So if you get a chance, check out Henry Wagons. And if you get a chance to see him, I recommend going as well. If he's opening for someone, or maybe he's playing probably a smaller club where you are. Yeah, I think he's in Canada a fair bit. So hanging out with the boys from the Dead South. So there you go. Henry Wagons.
All right. I'm going to go with something Curtis sent me. Curtis from Young LP Lovers, a good friend of the channel. He sent me this artist from, I believe she's from Nova Scotia, Elise Aaron. Right up my alley. Female rock singer-songwriter. I sort of got some Stevie Nicks kind of vibes from a couple of the songs. Just fantastic. So this is her album, Joy State of Mind. It's an autographed one, which was nice of Curtis to get. She self-released it last year, or no, 2 years ago, 2 years ago. Just a great straight-up rock record. I love female rock singers that have a powerful voice, and she certainly does. So if you jump on that couch one more time, I'm going to cut your legs off.
Yikes.
That's a joke. I'm kidding, people. My son's going bananas in the other room there. So anyway, Elise Aaron, if you like that sort of, female rock thing, maybe, I don't know if it sounds like what Rob Walker's listening to, but female rock musician. So there you go.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. I think we get a 2-show grace period of trying to figure out when albums were released when we're saying in the last year or two, right? Because I don't know if you were counting the 7 days and trying to do the math in your head. So
that's right. Exactly. Yeah. I keep forgetting it's 2026. So,
so we know we get a 2-show grace period, maybe the whole month. Let's just give ourselves the month, I think. Yeah. Okay.
Sure. I'll get used to 2026 by June, so we're good.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
We're good. So yeah. All right. Excuse me. Let's see here. Rob was saying, I'm assuming he's speaking about Nilüfer. I don't know if I'm saying that right at all. He wasn't familiar until Saturday, so sounds like a new discovery. Aussies have great senses of humor. They absolutely do.
They do.
I'd say she's a lo-fi alternative, pretty relaxing. Okay, cool. Keep your children away from Rob. I'm totally kidding. I would never cut off my kid's legs, but he's jumping off the couch, and I'm like, you're going to get hurt one of these days. So, all right. Daryl. There we go.
Hey. All right. So this next one is kind of one of those situations in which, I am quite familiar with this band. One of their albums is probably my favorite album of the 90s. But what's really strange about it is their earlier stuff, other than the radio stuff, I wasn't overly familiar with. And so some people will go, well, how can you be an advocate for this band if you've never heard Alice in Chains Facelift? And I'm going to say, well, I've heard Dirt, and I've heard Jar of Flies, and I've heard the Tripod album, but I never actually heard this entire album in full. And then I bought it, I put it on, and there's a lot of fantastic stuff that is on here. If you are into grunge music, straight up grunge, this is true grunge, this one. So this is the one that has Man in the Box, which most people would know if you listen to grunge in the 90s. But the entire side A and side B, in my opinion, is just spot on. We Die Young, Sea of Sorrow was brilliant. Bleed the Freak, I can't remember. Love, Hate, Love. It's a really good album, but the strange thing is I'd never heard the whole thing. The only song on this that I knew prior to buying this was Man in the Box. And so, yeah, that is my, I guess, I know the band and I know a lot of their other stuff, but I had no idea what this album was about. So cool album. Obviously, if you're not into Alice in Chains, you're not going to like it. But if you are and you're not familiar with it, check it out.
All right.
Ace Lift.
Ryan is saying their Unplugged is A plus 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 plus. Rob's New Year's resolution is to attempt to discover more female singers. You and me both, absolutely. Way too many male singers in my collection. So, okay, Joe, what do you got?
Okay, I am going to go with, I should have had it ready, but I didn't. Oh, and by the way, never take offense if I leave when it's your turn. It's my wife. My wife got me this Barolo mug for Christmas, and I've been doing what she told me, which was to drink more water. So you can assume where I went. Anyway, not that anybody needed to know any of that, and not that you guys probably even gave a shit. But anyhow, now I found the record I was going to talk about.
It's not like I ever get up to leave during this live stream.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I just didn't want anybody to be offended because, oh, sure, take off when it's my turn, you bastard. But I'll go again later, and I'll take off when it's your turn, Rob. Okay,
perfect.
Okay.
I have nothing of value to say.
I talked about the band, the Dead South, and I'm going to talk about them again because although they were the headliners that opened for Mr. Wagons, I knew of them. My daughter was friends with them. They are from Regina, and I had maybe heard one song, so I was not all that familiar with them. And we went, and they thoroughly impressed me. Really, really good stuff. Bluegrass, country, folk. I don't know if you could call it any rock. Maybe a little Steve Earle light, like that type of stuff. Just really, really good. I know that our friend Glenn Calloway from The Basement is familiar with them. I think Sam's familiar with them as well. But they are a band out of Regina, Saskatchewan, Canada. Really good. But as Daryl just stated, and I try and say myself when I'm talking about albums, it's like it's got to be your jam. It's got to be kind of in a little bit of your wheelhouse, not always, but sometimes, as to whether you feel it's a good album or not. But if you like the styles that I just mentioned, I think you will really enjoy these guys. And again, if you get a chance to see them live, really, really good. 4-piece banjo, guitar, vocals, and a cello, actually, that the guy plays, which I think last time I said it was a bass, and Joanne corrected me because she can hear me making mistakes upstairs, and she corrects me every once in a while. But again, the band is the Dead South. This happens to be the album Good Company. And I've talked about the single before, and Hell, I'll Be in Good Company, but you can look that one up. It's actually got a few shots from Regina. There's a record store in it. It's not my record store. It's a different one. But there's some shots of Regina. Then they did kind of half of it in Toronto as well. But look for it. So the Dead South. There you go. And I think maybe they've got a new one coming. Maybe. They keep saying that. So.
Okay.
It's a cool looking album cover. It almost reminds me of like Red Dead.
Yeah, that or the other one was a little bit of Ozark, right, where there was always some highlights as to what was going to be coming in the show on it. But yeah,
they put out 1 or 2 albums on 6 Shooter Records in Toronto, which is my favorite indie label.
They did.
I don't think they're signed to them anymore, but they were.
Yep, you are correct.
Record on saying that Rob had a great idea. I usually go for oldies, but there's lots of them. I don't know yet. Richard is saying water is delicious, especially in beer. So
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Exactly.
All right. I'm gonna go. This was a great discovery for me, because it's an artist I know, and I have a lot of records that he's on. And this is an album, I think, Joe, you talked about it, and I said I've been looking for it forever, never, ever found it in the wild. So Keith in New Zealand sent it to me. Robbie Robertson. Obviously, I love Robbie Robertson, one of my favorite guitar players. I'm a massive fan of the band. But I'd never heard his solo record, which came out in 87. I remember when I was a kid, because 87, I was 9. Showdown at Big Sky and Somewhere Down the Crazy River were the two big radio singles. I remember those. But I had never heard the rest of the album, and I never bothered to, give it a chance. I mean, those songs are fine. Like, I don't love those two singles like some of his previous works, but it's just I didn't bother to go listen to it. And then again, I think it was you, Joe, that was talking about this, alerted me to the fact that U2 is on this record. They play on two songs, I think 2 or 3 songs, which I had no idea. And I'm like, well, shit, I need to get this now because love Robbie Robertson and I love U2, and U2 on a Robbie Robertson record, that intrigues me. Well, then I couldn't find it, and Keith sent it to me. And this is a phenomenal record. I think it was nominated for a Juno, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe even one. I don't remember. But just a great record. Different than what he did in the band, which is good because I like when an artist evolves a little bit. It's just a fantastic record that you don't see. So it's funny that he's from Stratford, Ontario, which is like 20 minutes or 45 minutes down the road. In order for me to get this, it had to come from New Zealand, which is halfway around the world. Kind of humorous, but fantastic record. And the songs he does on here with U2, which you wouldn't think of him and U2 going together, but really, really good. So one of my favorite discoveries of 2025. So, there you go.
Very nice. Yeah, I was happy for you when you got that one because I was fairly certain it was going to be a gooder. So
yeah, exactly. Daniel Lanois was on fire as a producer at that time in the 80s. Yes, absolutely he was.
Yep. Yeah. He certainly
it's a great album. I agree with you, Rob, that the two main hits that are on it, the rest of the album is possibly much better than the two main hits.
Agree. Yeah, absolutely. So
you don't see that too often.
No, you don't. So, Record Hound is saying that Kiwi pressing probably sounds excellent. I guess that's where it was pressed. No, this is an American pressing, I think. According to this, I think. I don't know. It's direct metal mastering. I'm not an audiophile, so my ears aren't good enough to tell the difference, but it does. I think it sounds good. So very happy with it. All right, Daryl, back to you.
Hey, I don't think I've shown this one on here before. This album here, I actually bought as a blind buy to save on shipping to get records to my location. And so I was like, what is this? This record, it's an EP. There's only 5 songs on it. Side B isn't even etched. It's just not playable because there's no songs on it. But I was like, when I read the description of this album, it said like band from Toronto, garage psych rock 2025 album. And I'm like, wow, they still do psych rock in 2025 with a little bit of garage rock and that kind of thing. So I was like, that's kind of intriguing to me, and I want to save on shipping, so I'll get it. And then the cover of this album by a band out of Toronto called Lamping. Nobody's ever heard of these guys, but it's a cool cover, like a purpley cover. I always like those hippie Volkswagen bands, and then the surfboard and all that kind of stuff. So I was pretty intrigued by it. And you can tell that it's a Canadian band with a Canadian pressing because it's got the big Canada logo there in the bottom corner and all that.
In fact,
but yeah, no, this is just really unusual music. Like like I said, if you like psych with garage rock, but it's 2025, that's what this is. So a band called Lamping out of Toronto. It's weird, it's quirky. I would stream it before you ever decide to buy it, unless you're going to do what I did and save on shipping, pay $15 on a clearance. But it's neat. And I mean, the three of us have always talked about this, just regardless of if we like them or not, supporting Canadian bands is important to us. And I think that was my main thing about this, is even if I wouldn't have liked it, I'd like to support the the cause of those bands. So yeah, if you haven't heard it, like I said, 5 songs. Almost, I don't think it's independently pressed. I think this the Foundation Assisting Canadian Talent on Recordings, Factor, whatever that is. Never heard of it, but yeah, no, I thought it was neat and thought I would show it here tonight because I don't think anybody else has ever shown that in the VC.
Nope. I don't believe I've seen that other than I've seen it from you before, but yeah, I don't know if that's one that's come up anywhere.
Factor is a government-run program through, I think, Ministry of Cultural whatever. And if you're an independent artist, you can apply for Factor grant money to help finance your recordings. So there's certain criteria that you need to meet. I actually worked on one of these Factor applications for a buddy of mine, and you have to have, they're not just going to give it to you and me who've never ever recorded an album before. You've got to have some kind of, statistical traction behind you that, you're going to sell something, and you can get, I think it's $5,000 or $10,000, I think is what the grant is. So it's like
that'll help.
Yeah. So it's a good program. All right, Joe.
All right. Speaking of good Canadian kids, this is a guy that I saw open up for Nickelback. And I've talked about them before, and they're going to come up again later as being the headliner for an opening band. And this is not the album that I'm talking about when I saw them with Nickelback, but this is Danko Jones. This is almost the most recent. I think he just put one out again. He's fairly prolific. He's got quite a bit of music out there, but very cool. This is Electric Sounds from a couple of years ago. And for those that aren't aware, just good, straightforward rock and roll. If you need to know what Danko Jones sounds like, one lyric is, "We're here to have a good time, fuck shit up and have a good time." So I think that kind of sums Danko up a little bit. But again, very cool artwork on the front. I'm not sure exactly where it's all from, if there's something specific or not. I probably should know that, but there's some electric eels on there. It's all Electric Sounds. So there you go. Danko Jones opened up for Nickelback. I had the date. No, I don't have the date. It was a long time ago. I think he had one album out, or it was just out when I saw him, and been a fan ever since. I
have got to find the album that has Lover Call on it. That song makes me laugh every time I hear it, and it reminds me. I mean, I don't know if all their music sounds like this, but it reminds me of Thin Lizzy.
All Danko Jones music, and he says it himself, at least he did the time I saw him, is like, if you like one of my songs, you will likely like all of my songs, because I'm just going to write the same stuff, kind of. He's got a style for sure, and he kind of sticks to it. So just good, just fun. I like it a lot. And again, that's the most recent and or almost most recent, because there's either one coming or is out already, a new one. So good stuff. And he's coming to the Casino Regina in a month, and I'm going to go see him again. So looking forward to that.
I've met the drummer, Rich Knox, many, many times. He used to be the drummer of one of my favorite, now defunct bands, the Dustin Bentall Outfit. I used to see them anytime they were in town. So I've met Rich a bunch of times.
It's just good. I mean, it's good party music. It's good bump you up music. It's not good drive. It's good driving music. It's not good sit there and mellow out music. That's for certain. So,
yeah, Danko had, and maybe still does, a podcast. He interviewed a buddy of mine, which is really cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, maybe he does. I'm not sure.
I mean, anyone can have a podcast. Us idiots have done podcasts before.
Exactly.
But for myself, I'm going to start doing a regular monthly episode on the Vinyl Community Podcast. Stay tuned for more information on that. Record saying, all Danko Jones I've heard are only brickwalled CDs. Hope the LPs aren't like that.
Nope, I think they sound fine. I'm much like Rob. I mean, I want it to sound decent, but I don't give too much of a rat's ass if it doesn't sound pristine, but I want it to sound good. And I listened to it today. It sounded fine. But also remember, I am 60 with tinnitus and losing my hearing. But I have a hearing test coming up February 2nd. So you didn't need to know any of that. But there you go. I like to share. I'm a sharer.
It's going to be the best hearing test ever. No one's ever going to see results like that hearing test.
Exactly. Yeah, that's right.
All right. I'm going to show, this was my favorite find of all of 2025. This was one of those, it came up in my Facebook feed, like a suggested thing. And I'm like, because Facebook's more ads and shit than actual things that you follow or friends that you know or whatever. And I saw this little snippet of a music video come up for this artist named Tess Leoto. And she is an American that grew up in Paris and lives in Christchurch, New Zealand. And I went, never heard of her. And as you can see, she's sitting on a log there with a Telecaster. And this is that sort of Telecaster folk rock that I love. And this is her album, Blue Mind. And there's a song in there where the guitar is very like, man, that sounds like Blue Radio's 5 Days in July. That kind of, and I'm like, I am intrigued. So I listened to a few of the songs on YouTube, and I'm like, I absolutely loved it. This is square in the wheelhouse, like I said, of that Telecaster rock that I listen to a lot. So I ordered this off of her Bandcamp site, and she shipped it to me all the way from New Zealand. And there's a little tiny autograph down in the corner there. And I'd ordered it, and I'm like, I don't know anything about this person. So I sent a message to Keith at Attack Down Under, and I said, hey, Keith, have you ever heard of this person? She lives in Christchurch, which is not too far from where Keith is. He goes, nope, never heard of her. He sends me a message the next day. He goes, damn it, I love that record. And Keith is more of a hard rock guy, but he goes, I love it. He goes, I went to my local record store today, and I got them to bring me in the record. So I had to tell someone in New Zealand about a New Zealand artist, but Keith loved it and I loved it. And this showed up a little while later, and I posted this on my Instagram, and she actually messaged me and she went, holy crap, I can't believe my music made it all the way to someone in Canada. And I'm like, well, I'm going to talk about it on my YouTube show, but it's a fantastic record. So, and I love the fact that, like, she put this out herself. She I don't know if did a Kickstarter or self-funded this release. So I'm happy that I was able to support an independent musician that's putting out their own stuff. One of my favorite album of 2025 for sure. So there you go. There you go.
Cool album for sure.
I don't know if I'd call this a podcast, Brian. It's a shit show at least, but
yeah, we got that going for us, if nothing else. So, but it is, I guess, if in the true sense of it's recorded, it's recorded, although it's live, and then you play it back later if you want to. I don't know, whatever.
Yeah. Trevor suggested I should reach out and interview Tess, and I thought about it. I don't know enough about her, and I don't know that there's a big enough volume of work there to fill up a podcast episode, but maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll see. I got another more important interview coming up very soon, which I'm excited about. So, but maybe I want, if I'm going to interview someone, I want to make sure that I know their music inside and out, and I, can ask reasonably intelligent questions so I don't sound like an idiot. I just don't know enough about this person, but absolutely love the record. So there you go. Daryl, you're up again.
All right. So this next one is my newest album that I have in my collection. It's an album that, Rob, you and I have talked about, where I know for sure you were like, I'm going to buy it anyway, but I hope it's not the same as all the other stuff. I'm getting kind of tired of the samey stuff.
Yeah.
And so I got this for Christmas from my wife. Life of a Showgirl, Taylor Swift, biggest artist in the world right now.
Yep.
And I'm going to be honest with you. I was like you, I was a little skeptical. And I'm like, okay, she did the song Wood about her boyfriend's parts and all that kind of stuff.
Wood.
But I'm going to be honest with you. I was pleasantly surprised with this album. This album's amazing. And I got the cool, wow. Need we say more?
We do not.
Though I don't understand the spaghetti plate. I don't get that, but hey. But yeah, need we say more about that? But I will say that the what's that song that's on the first one? Fate of
Fate of
Ophelia is
Ophelia.
a fantastic song.
Yep.
But the thing that I like about this is, and I don't know how many different flipping variants there are. I don't
There are
really care.
There are 6.
But I love the orange glitter.
Yeah.
That is so cool that that my wife got me this orange glitter, because I don't know. I mean, even if I wasn't a Taylor fan, which I mean, I'm not a Swiftie, but I definitely appreciate her music. This is a really good album. That's all I'm gonna say. And I was happy with it. It's not my top 5 of 2025, but for a Taylor album, that one was a breath of fresh air from Taylor.
As the resident Swiftie on this panel, yeah, I mean, I had said to my wife, here's the thing. I became a Swiftie a long time ago when Speak Now came out. So that's going back like 15 years. And my wife thought I was insane. And now she's a bigger Swiftie than I am. I just like the music. I don't give 2 shits about her life. I don't give 2 shits about the documentary that's on. I don't care about any of it. I just like listening to the albums. And the wife and I were talking about it. I said, I hope this new album is not like the last ones. I loved Folklore and I loved Evermore because they were really different than anything she had done before. They were very folky. And then Midnight's was a little, similar, but, a little electronic. And then Tortured Poets was more of the same thing. And I was like, you know what, I might be getting off the Swiftie train here because 4 albums in a row that are pretty much all interchangeable. And I'm like, I'm getting bored. And then she comes out with just a banger of a pop record. Like it's not anything sophisticated. It is just a straight up radio friendly pop record. And there's nothing wrong with that. I love it. It's great. It's great. So I like it.
Excellent.
And Richard wants to know why you're looking at the spaghetti on the plate. I honestly,
I got to keep this PG. That's why.
I had never noticed the spaghetti on the plate. There are 6 there's that one and 5 other variants of the album. And let's just say there's some nice pictures on some of the other ones too, Daryl. Better than that one. I don't have the other variants. I have the same one that you have. So
yeah,
I don't need to buy more than one. But I might. All right, Joe.
Okay, what do I got next? Let's go this one. This is a band that I saw open for, and I was a little familiar with, but I saw them open for City and Color a year and a half ago. My son and I went, and I was not a large City and Color fan, but I enjoyed them as well. I haven't included them here. I could have, though, because I knew a bit, again, of City and Color, but going to see them live made that a little bit more interesting for me. But this one is actually Nathaniel Rateliff and the Night Sweats. We've talked about this guy and this band. I call it the band because the band is a big part of it. There you go. Yeah, exactly. It's just good. This album, and then I think I got 3 I can't remember. I think I've got 3 other ones, and I just really thoroughly enjoy it. Again, someone I was familiar with, I'd heard Son of a Bitch. That's all I heard. And yeah, that's okay. I like that. But then seeing them live, and that's what it is sometimes, is you see these artists live and they just take it up a notch. And, again, it's good stuff. It's I don't even know how you categorize it. What would you, if you could, what would you categorize it as? I don't know.
I would say they are roots rock Springsteen impersonators.
Sure. Yeah. They're just good.
Yes.
Again, they're on the Stax label, so that gives you a little bit of an idea of maybe what they are as well. Because a lot of the Stax there's a lot of horns. Like there's a nice horn section in this. There's lots of nice Hammond organ on this album and at the concert and on the other albums. It's interesting songwriting. The guy's got a cool voice as well. I think he has a bit of a unique voice. But again, I had heard based off of listening to the radio, Son of a Bitch. but my interest and my admiration went up immensely when I saw him live, and I am glad that I did. There you go.
Son of my mom. There you go.
Yeah. But check it out.
Nathaniel Rateliff is like folk soul or something very good in show.
I think that's what I like about him. Even on Son of a Bitch, I love the horn section. I think the horn section is really cool in his band.
Yeah. And that's good too. R&B and soul. That certainly they all. I think that all encompasses what they do. So yeah, really, really good.
Folk R&B soul with horn section.
Yeah.
I'm going to go next, and I might as well show my Nathaniel Rateliff record. So I didn't know who these guys were. I don't listen to the radio. I don't watch any kind of music TV. I was on YouTube, and they were on Stern, and they did a cover of, was it Dancing in the Dark? I think it was Dancing in the Dark, the Springsteen song. And fantastic. He's playing a Telecaster just like Bruce does. They got the Hammond. They got saxophones. They got a horn section. And I'm like, this is kind of like the E Street Band. And they pulled off one of the best Springsteen covers I've ever heard. And then I listened to some of the other stuff, and it's very sort of R&B, obviously, because it's on Stax. That makes sense. And there's kind of a folk element to it. So I was in one of my favorite record stores, and I found South of Here. And the reason that I picked this up is since I had watched a few Nathaniel Rateliff videos on YouTube, he started showing up in my feed quite regularly. And there was a recurring ad for his North American tour, and the song playing in that ad was Heartless. And I'm going, wow, I love that song. And this record just so happened to have Heartless on here. So I'm like, I got to pick this up. And I really, 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 really enjoy it. So there you go.
There you go.
There you go.
Double recommendation.
Yes. I'd like to delve a little deeper and pick up some of the other albums as well. So, yeah, that's that.
And if you get a chance, go and see them. I mean, it was a great show. It was an opening show, so it was the half an hour, maybe 45 minutes of. I'd love to see a full hour and a half set, and I think it would just be fantastic. So,
I think so too. Okay, we're all caught up in comments, so back to the top again.
Okay, all right. So this is where I veer off east of Ontario to the province of Quebec. And I've talked about this, that this is probably my favorite, what has become my favorite male musician of all Canadian music, to the point where I actually have all of his 70s and 80s albums on vinyl. I've completed it. But the one that I really like, I got a copy from Joe, and I also, I will say that I obtained it legally and lawfully from the radio station, and that is my friend Gino Vanelli, who I really like from I think it's from Montreal. But this is his album Storm at Sunup. So I got this copy here as a VCLT from Joe, and I don't know what it is about Gino Vanelli. I know that he's not for everyone, but if you like jazzy, electronic jazz, soft pop, almost bordering on some of his albums, almost bordering on like music that you would have heard in the 1980s shopping mall. But I think it's fantastic. This doesn't have any like big hits or anything, and I think that that's what I like about this album, is that there really weren't. I mean, there were singles on it, but there weren't any big hits from this. And I've talked about this before. There's a song on here, a song called "Getting High," but it has nothing to do with drugs. It's just about him getting high on life, getting high on himself. And it's just a funny, quirky song. So, and I mean, if we're going to talk about that 1970s sex appeal kind of a guy, that's the guy with the hairy chest. But
is that what you look like?
I blow that up for you there.
Is that what you look like younger, Daryl, with hair?
That I wish I had that much hair, but
that had to be in the running for sexy album cover in your tag that you did.
yeah, that was up there. I had considered that and another one by him, because not only is he on that album cover, but some lady that he had a one night stand with in the corner there.
A leggy blonde lady looking out the window, forlorn.
She does not have any spaghetti.
Yeah. But if you haven't checked out Storm at Sunup, and you're kind of in, like I said, if you're into that 70s electronic jazz / soft pop, pretty good stuff.
Very nice.
Tim is saying, of course, he's met Nathaniel Rateliff, but he didn't know it was him at the time. Because Tim's met everybody.
Yeah.
Gino's from Montreal, and indeed he recently accepted the Canadian Hall of Fame. Yeah, I saw that. His earliest albums have a nice fusion-y taste to them.
They do. The early ones are really good.
I was VCLT'd some Gino Vanelli, and I tried, but it just wasn't my cup of tea. So,
yeah.
I like
Zappacosta. I showed Zappacosta on my stereotypes tag. So those of you that have just arrived, if you want to try a stereotype tag, go check out my channel.
There you go. You can make fun of us Canadians.
I was picking, as I was watching yours, I was kind of writing myself little notes or whatever, and you showed whichever you showed first, I can't remember, and then it was like, oh, A to Z, I'm going to use Alfie Zappacosta. Ah, shit. So, yeah. That's a good album, though. I like that album. So
Richard has a pasta fetish, so there you go. Okay.
Richard, you've watched too much Lady and the Tramp.
Yeah, that's right. That's exactly it. So, yeah, and another quick plug. Hey, if you're busy or you're not busy later at 9:30 Central or 10:30 Eastern, I need a third person for a test run of the game show that we're going to try. So let me know.
Over on Joe's channel.
Over on my channel, but let me know and I'll get you the links. If not, we'll do it with two. If you guys are awake still, we'll figure it out. But
I'll be there.
That's the plan for now. So if someone's here that would like to join us, it's just going to be some fun. So, all right, up next, I've got a guy that I met a long time ago. I always preface it by, I've been drunk with that guy. And Joanne, my lovely wife, always reminds me that everybody has been drunk in Regina with Colin James. But it was back when I was a DJ in the bar in Prince Albert, Saskatchewan. We would have music through the week, canned music, music, and then we'd have bands on the weekend. And Colin was just starting out. So I think 5 long years, there was an EP for 5 long years. And I think that's all that was out there. So he was fairly new to me and just phenomenal. It was great. There wasn't a lot on this album played when he was there because it was still just a lot of his blues covers. And then he did 5 long years. But he had a sax player that was phenomenal. The band was great. We did get drunk lots. It was back in my drinking days. It was just a really, really good weekend of some fantastic music and a lot of fun and a lot of fond memories that I either remember or don't remember. But good Canadian kid, Regina, Saskatchewan. Again, grew up living in, I don't know, probably Vancouver now. I'm not sure where Colin is, but good stuff. So discovered him again by seeing him live, which is nice. I mean, sometimes we go to shows that we know the artist word for word, their 20, 30 albums. And then there's other times we go and we get some openers we have no idea and they blow us away. And or we just all of a sudden get to see someone that we had never seen before and that we had maybe heard a little of, but not much. And then you become a lifelong fan. So Colin James, there you go. Good stuff.
5 long years is an amazing song.
Indeed.
I haven't heard that song in so long.
He's great when he does his blues set, and I've seen him do that in the last couple of years. And I mean, he's got a string of his own hits as well, but sometimes he just wants to get back to. And then there was Colin James in the Little Big Band. I never saw that as a live, but that would have been probably pretty fantastic too. So he's kind of fallen into that summer tour schedule. I think he's not necessarily a headliner anymore, but maybe he's got another great album in him. There's guys that go away for a while and come back, so maybe he's got another great, because he's not that old. I think he's younger than me. I'm pretty sure he's younger than me, or not that much older. He's got to be 50s to whatever. So yeah, hopefully maybe we get something new out of Colin James, or if you get a chance to see him, still puts on a great show. Whether you're getting his hits or you're getting his blues covers, because he's very good at that. Great guitar player.
Record on saying of all the artists, that's who he's seen the most, mostly by accident, however that happens. Yeah. But he enjoyed it nonetheless. So.
Well, that's good. Yeah, that's good.
There you go. Okay. I have to show an album that came out that they didn't advertise, and it's not on their website, and it's really hard to find, and it's a band that I love, but it's not. So this is the live album by Rick White and the Sadies that came out this year. I have talked about the Sadies a lot. I absolutely love them. They're a rock band that does a lot of country and blues and a whole bunch of other stuff. They're from Toronto. Massive fan. I've met them many times. About 3 years ago now, I think, one of the two brothers, Dallas Good, died of a heart condition that they didn't know about till it was too late, and he lived like a week and passed away quite tragically. Yes, exactly. Rep Dallas. Wonderful guy. Anytime that I met him and chatted with him and his brother. His brother is like fucking Frankenstein. He's 17 feet tall and scary as shit, but is the nicest guy in the world. So it was kind of like, well, this is maybe the end of the Sadies. Well, they have a friend named Rick White, who's a rock musician from Eastern Canada, who's done stuff with them before. They were in a band called The Unintended with Greg Keeler. Rick White stepped in and did a studio album with the three remaining Sadies, and it was Rick White and the Sadies, and it was great. And then they did this live album. Like I said, they didn't put it on their website or anything. I don't even remember how I found out about it. And it is awesome. So it takes the Sadies in a slightly more sort of alt rock direction, a little less of the sort of cosmic cowboy thing. But it's just, it made me fall in love with this band again, because it's kind of the same band, but it's kind of not, because Dallas was the singer. So now you got Rick White singing it. So it does, yes, they are sons of the Good Brothers. Absolutely. So this album, I fell in love with the Sadies all over again, and I'm glad that there's new life in the band, and I like the direction that Rick White it's still the Sadies, but a little different, and I absolutely love it. If you can find this anywhere, it's a double record. This was at the Great Hall, which I believe is in London, Ontario. So good. Just not my favorite Sadies record, but it's up there. So wonderful.
Yeah, I was just disappointed because we were out of town when they were in town. So next time, hopefully. So,
you know, it's funny. I have seen the Sadies more times than I can count, obviously, because they're good friends with Blue Rodeo, and as many times as Richard, keep score. I said Blue Rodeo once already, so keep score. These guys have opened for them a million times. I had the pleasure of seeing the Sadies about 25 years ago at a bar in Guelph, Ontario, and there might have been 20 people there. Like, the bar was twice the size of my office. Like, it was, I could have reached out and touched them. It was awesome. Awesome. I'm very fortunate for that. So, big fan of the Sadies. And that album, I absolutely love it. So, here we go.
I love it when bands do that, when they just go and play in a quaint environment with hardly anybody there. It's so much more personal.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It was great. Okay. Daryl, you're up. I'm going to run upstairs quick, say goodnight to my son. I'll be right back.
All right. So Joe, I'm gonna ask you a question. When you hear the name Mike Oldfield, what comes to mind?
Tubular Bells.
Tubular Bells. from The Exorcist. And I have the Tubular Bells album, and I mean, if you like listening to 12 minutes of Tubular Bells, it's a great album.
Yeah.
Not my cup of tea. But then when I raided the record station, I came across another Mike Oldfield album, which is a little more proggy. I think this is from the 80s. Yeah, 1982. An album called 5 Miles Out. And it's got a song on it called Taurus 2, but the rest of it is really good. I was pleasantly surprised by this, right? I wouldn't say that it's your full-blown prog stuff from the early 70s or anything like that, but it was one of these albums that I found by chance, and I was like, okay, I'll give Mike Oldfield a second chance. And listening to it, it's I don't know, there's just something about this album, and the art on the back of it was really cool. And the airplane flying in the sky, just a unique, I guess, inner gatefold and stuff like that. And I mean, once again, I mean, if you're not into prog, I think that this is a pretty palatable album, because I wouldn't say I'm turned off by Tubular Bells. It's just, it had one purpose, and that was Exorcist. And yeah, I'd be hard pressed to know too many people that listen to Tubular Bells every day on their turntable. But this one here is really cool, and I'm kind of glad that I found it. I didn't pay anything for it, and another one of those steals from not steals, but a steal from 2025.
A save from 2025. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I know I said Tubular Bells, but yeah, of course, The Exorcist. But I don't know if someone asked me the movie that scared the shit out of me the most, it's still The Exorcist, and that was, I don't know, 45 years ago. There was nothing that ever scared me as much. Now, I was also 12 or 13 and probably should not have been watching The Exorcist, but yeah, just a great example of how music can make a movie or be a big part of a movie, right? I mean, Scorsese's kind of the king of that. I mean, that has nothing to do with The Exorcist, but yeah, that, it's been a while. I don't know the last time we did soundtracks, but maybe we do that again. But maybe not even soundtracks, and I'm not sure if I could pull it off, and I've got far too many records. Scores, because it's the score that's kind of interesting sometimes, more so than the soundtrack as well, and that kind of falls into a little bit of both. I guess there wasn't a whole bunch of other music in The Exorcist. That was kind of the thing, but man, you put that on and you instantly start to see Linda's head spin around in your head, or at least I do anyway. So
well, it's funny with soundtracks, because like I said, we talked about this before, that I got the Bloodsport soundtrack for Christmas, and the entire thing, like I can recite the lines that are going on when the song was playing in the movie. It's just so funny how the soundtracks do that. And I agree with you that with Tubular Bells, it makes the movie. It really does. It puts you in a place of what was going on. And I think Back to the Future is another one of those movies too, where there are certain songs that play in that movie, and you're like, if that song's not there, it just wouldn't feel the same.
No, I agree, definitely. And I mean, obviously, we become educated to it or used to it or whatever, but, and not that this is our topic, but we'll chat for a little bit while Rob's away. Another great example is the album and the movie The Lost Boys, the vampire movie. That soundtrack is phenomenal, and the use of the music in it, like, I mean, after seeing it, and I saw that movie far too many times, I'm not sure why. Well, I know why, because I really enjoyed it. I'm not exactly sure why you watch the same movie over and over again. Maybe a couple of times, but I probably watched that thing like 10 times. But yeah, the music was just so tied to it and just made such an impact on the rest of it. And then, like I said, Martin Scorsese movies, like, you hear Layla and you think Derek and the Dominoes, but then you also think about Ray Liotta running around like a chicken with his head cut off at the end of Goodfellas. So, big. It just makes such a nice difference. And then there's other times where the song is just a big part of the soundtrack, like Beverly Hills Cop, Axel F. It wouldn't be the same without it, but it doesn't need to be in it. So there's movies where the music needs to be in it or should be in it, and it makes it that much better. But Anyway, we
for
got
sure.
off sidetracked and started talking about soundtracks and
It's okay.
score stuff. So
You know what's a really good soundtrack? Grease 2.
Grease 2, yes, but the movie. Now the movie, there's what, like about 4 minutes? I don't even know. Have you timed out the clip? How
There's
long?
only about 3 minutes that you need to watch. Michelle
That's it.
Pfeiffer on the ladder singing Cool Rider. Holy moly. I fell in love with her when I was 10.
There you go. So you take the soundtrack from the first one and that clip from the second one, and
No,
that's
no.
all you
I don't care about the first one. I don't give a shit about it.
know. Okay.
I hate the first one. Don't ever want to hear it. Don't ever want to see it. Just give me Cool Rider from Grease 2. That's all you need.
Perfect.
See,
Excellent.
all of this started because of a question I asked Joe at the very beginning of of this choice, which was when you hear the name Mike Oldfield, what comes to mind?
I don't know. Tubular Bell.
Tubular Bell,
Yeah.
Yeah.
which is from
I don't know.
The
Exorcist.
Exorcist.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I haven't seen The
Oh,
Exorcist.
yeah.
I mean, I've seen The Exorcist, but it's been like 25 years. So
So we were just talking because my pick was a Mike Oldfield album, but it wasn't Tubular Bells because I don't think anybody can handle listening to Tubular Bells for 14 minutes every day. But it was a cool proggy album. So
Yeah.
there we go.
speaking of movies, watch The Housemaid this week with the wife, the one with Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried.
Oh yeah.
Fucking fantastic movie.
Is it good? Yeah.
Aside from the fact that, it's a great movie. It's like those thrillers from back in the day, like Fatal Attraction, that kind of, we haven't had a movie like that in a long time. And
Yeah.
it does this awesome 180 in the middle of a movie that you don't see coming. And it's great. Awesome.
Cool. Have to check it out. You know what? I would be remiss if we didn't have a moment of silence for MTV. MTV is now done, right? Without MTV, we don't get Much Music, and I loved Much Music. MTV was pretty cool too, but there was a lot of cool things on Much Music. So yeah, the death, I mean, it had been dying a slow death a long time ago, but it certainly has its place in music history, and there's still a lot of cool videos getting made. It just turned into the shit show that it turned into, but thought it was pretty cool. Yeah. I didn't see it, but I understand that they wrapped it up. They played Video Killed the Radio Star and went off the air. Thanks for coming. So yeah, a big part of all of our childhood, I think, especially Much, right? Maybe a little bit more than MTV.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I spent endless days watching Much Music.
Much Music and VH1.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's a good thing that Mike Judge decided to switch over with Beavis and Butthead, do another thing.
Yeah. There was a really good couple of seasons of a show that Mike did. I don't know if you guys saw From the Bus, Tales from the Bus. The first one was country, but it was all the outlaw guys. So it was Waylon Jennings and Willie, and it was all animated and not quite Beavis and Butthead animation, but animated. And it was good stories and well done. You should look for it. I don't know if it's anywhere. And then the second season, and I'm hoping that at some point there's a third, but the second season was all funk. So it was Funkadelic, and then it was Rick James, and just really cool Mike Judgy stuff, but talked about the band's history and stuff. So there, if Chris Mann is watching back, I don't know where you find it, but look for Tales from the Bus by Mike Judge. See if you can find that somewhere. So I enjoyed it. That's a few years ago now. So, but guess it's my turn to actually talk about a record. So I mentioned Nickelback earlier. I'll mention them again. And I've said all along that I have no problem with them, and that I have always learned of bands by going to see them. They had some great openers. One I mentioned earlier, and this is going to be the other one. And I talk about these guys a lot, so I won't mention them too much, but this is the first album. This is Shinedown. There's back in the big Brent Smith days, and they look a lot different now. Not a whole heck of a lot different, but this goes back to of course Stranger Inside, as well as 45's on here, and Better Version, and it's just good stuff. Again, a band that I don't know that I had heard them for sure, but from the first note of hearing them, I was thoroughly impressed, and that is thanks to Chad Kroger and our friends from Hannah, Alberta, otherwise known as Nickelback, because they had them on tour with them. I probably would have eventually learned about them because they've been a staple of rock radio now for a number of years. Kind of a nice, cool blue. But I was glad that I and my son Riley as well. He's always been a fan, and it was a show that we were at together, and we've just become fans and stayed fans of them. So someone that we discovered thanks to Nickelback. So there you go.
Nice. Shinedown's a great
at
band.
least something good.
They really
can come
are.
from Nickelback.
At least something good comes out of Nickelback. That's right. Yes. Yes, and I agree. Yeah, they're good. I like their style. Again, they don't stray too far from song to song. They got a little bit of variance, but lots of good topics, lots of good things, some causes. They just seem like good dudes, and yeah, can't go wrong with that. That's what you're shooting for. Good music, good guys.
You know what we need, Rob? What we need is for you and I to go. So ABBA's going to do a reunion tour, but Nickelback's going to be the opener. Nickelback is going to tour with ABBA.
Perfect. I'll show up late.
And Bryan Adams is going to be the MC.
Oh, Richard, if you're keeping score, we just mentioned Bryan Adams.
Yeah, one battle after another. Sorry, just looking at the comments. I haven't watched that one yet, but I'm looking forward to that one. That's the new one with our friend. What's his lips? Good Lord. It's got Sean Penn in it, which is why I want to watch it partially. But Leonardo DiCaprio and actually Benicio del Toro's in it as well. So it's supposed to be pretty good. They play, I don't know, bad guys, good guys, anti-heroes, something like that. I don't know other than I want to watch it. So again, it's not the movie podcast. It's the music podcast, but it's a little of both. It's good. Yeah.
Sure. Okay. I'm up next. This was some VCLT. The Stereophonics from our friend Chris, the Vinyl Man. He is a fan of the Stereophonics in the way that Joe is a fan of Bryan Adams and I'm a fan of Blue Rodeo. Just, okay, one of those is maybe not true. I'm a massive fan of Blue Rodeo. He's a massive fan of Stereophonics. This is the band he's passionate about. And Chris was nice enough to send me this. This is their album Performance and Cocktails from 1999. We got to show the gatefold because that's the rule. There they are there. This woman looks less than impressed about kissing this fella.
Yeah. Like,
I don't know what the deal is. She's kind of like, well, I guess if I have to.
Yeah.
I guess. I don't know. But thanks, Chris. This is the biggest band in Wales. Great, 90s rock.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Don't know what else to say, but I really enjoy this. And I do need to take the time to find myself some other Stereophonics, but some great VCLT. So I obviously knew of the Stereophonics, but obviously they weren't really a thing here. I mean, we knew of them, but I don't know that we'd hear Stereophonics on the radio. So without Chris, I probably would never have listened to this band. So thank you.
And they have a lot of albums. I went looking again. They do. They have a lot. And I've got a couple, not that. I've got Ucha, which I listened to yesterday, I think. Really, really good. Actually, very good.
Going for like 35 years or something.
Yeah, they've been going for a while, and yeah, new stuff in the last little bit, but really good. And for some reason, it put me a little bit in the mind of, if you're not familiar with them, and maybe you know the Gaslight Anthem. There's the one album that Gaslight Anthem had, American Slang. It reminded me a little bit of that. Like I put American Slang on right after because it made me think of that, and just good, just solid. I haven't listened to all of it. I haven't listened to all of their catalog, I should say, but the couple I've got are good. I like them, so that's great.
Really good.
And I thanked Chris, but I am waiting for. He sent me some Stereophonics VCLT, and it's just waiting to arrive.
Yeah.
So I'll have to check the tracking number and see where over the Atlantic it is.
Yeah, that's right. Canada Post.
Canada Post. I'm up next, eh? What do I want to show next? What do I want to show? Here we go. I'll show this. We talk about this guy quite a lot. We've mentioned, Richard always talks about this, that yes, 10 different people, their favorite album and you're going to get 10 different answers from this guy. And the reality is once again, some people might say in the VCLT, how could you not have listened to all this guy's albums or whatever? And I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I still have to listen to Nebraska and I still got to listen to The River. I haven't heard those two albums yet, but in 2025, I got Tunnel of Love. And at the moment, I'm going to be honest with you, this is my favorite Springsteen album. I think that this is fantastic. Side 2 of this album is amazing. Absolutely amazing. Tunnel of Love, Brilliant Disguise, One Step Up, Valentine's Day.
Tougher Than the Rest.
Yeah, it's an incredible album. And, you know, I think when you listen to people talk about Bruce Springsteen, this one and the one that you just got, Brilliant Disguise, are so underrated. Nobody talks about them.
Well, I think, and I love that album too. It's in my top 4, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the reason it probably gets overshadowed is because that's the album after Born in the USA.
Yeah.
It's the follow-up,
right?
Yeah, 100%.
Well, I don't want to bring this guy's name up, but it's kind of like Bryan Adams and Reckless.
It is, because the album after that was Into the Fire, which everyone ignores. So,
which is a pretty decent album.
It is. Yeah, it is. So I love Tunnel of Love. Great album.
Yeah. So once again, it's not that I've never heard of Bruce Springsteen and, you know, all that kind of thing, but I just never heard that album before. Once again, I heard Brilliant Disguise and Tunnel of Love.
Yep. Really good. Okay. Joe.
So, not fitting my theme, but I will mention we all got to, those of us that chose to, got to discover the electric version of Nebraska this year. So that was a good thing. That was a very good thing. Plus the whole box set. So we got to discover a lot of new, different Bruce Springsteen songs this year. So it doesn't fit my theme, but that definitely is some stuff that happened in the last year. Next up, these guys I saw open for Canadian band Billy Talent. I was going to point over there. Normally I've got the Billy Talent album up, but I don't. That's Big Wreck, also Canadian. But Billy Talent, these guys, Against Me, opened up. This is a very good album. I like this. Again, it's very shiny. Sorry about that. I had heard of them, but you'll probably know Thrash Unreal. And then the other big one that they had was, what the hell's the other big song that they had? I'll think of it. But good stuff. Good kind of that California punk. Really good. 5-6 albums now. But again, I had maybe heard of them a little bit. But after seeing them live, they impressed me. And I don't know exactly how many I've got, but I've got more than one of their albums because I did find it really, really good. Now, again, this is a while ago. They've been around for a while already. But I discovered them as they opened up for Billy Talent. And Alex, hello, sir. Nice to see you. What is the other one? I know the video. The video is this kid running away from the cops, and they eventually chase him down. I'll think of it. Anyway, I digress. But Against Me, good stuff. And I saw them.
What kind of music is that? Like the album's called New Wave. Is it New Wave?
No, it's more punky. You've heard Thrash Unreal, I'm fairly certain. I know the title doesn't really equate to the song, but if she wants to dance and drink all night, there's no one gonna stop her. That song. Anyway, it's good.
Careful, we're gonna get a copyright strike.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, not based on good singing, that's for sure. But check them out though, Daryl. I think maybe you'd probably give them a shot anyway. And I'll think of that other damn song, or someone else will think of it. Hey, look, it's Scott. Everybody's showing up. Good to see
Scott, how you doing? And Alex, how you doing, my friend?
They're all warming up for the game show later. We still need
game show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Well, since Daryl brought up Springsteen, I'm going to bring up Springsteen. I've talked a lot about how a little over a year ago I discovered Springsteen. And what I mean by that is obviously I knew Springsteen and I knew Born in the USA and I knew Hungry Heart and Dancing in the Dark, and whatever. But it was never an artist that I bothered to do anything with or explore or listen to or whatever, just like, whatever. And I was in a record store and Nebraska happened to be playing, and that was the lightning bolt. I'm like, holy moly! Actually, I said holy shit, but we don't want to swear on here. And that started me on a Springsteen journey that's been going on for the better part of a year and a half, and I'm 75% of his catalog, and I'm loving pretty much all of it. And I discovered this year, Letter to You, which came out in 2020. And this was just, I knew nothing about it other than the Springsteen album. And I had a few albums digitally that I didn't have on vinyl. And I was waiting in the car one day to pick my son up after school. And I'm like, I'll listen to Letter to You. And I went, whoa, I really like this. So Amazon this record, and it's just a phenomenal album. It reminds me a lot of his earlier stuff, even though he's 70 some odd years old. It sounds like an earlier vintage Bruce, I think, is my take on it. I just really love it. I also want to say that the packaging on this album was some of the best I've ever seen. It's got a book in it, a fairly substantial book, fantastic artwork. There's the gatefold. That's the rule we show it. The sleeves, which obviously I don't use because I use inner sleeves from Vinyl Storage Solutions, promo code Northern 10. It's got these sort of translucent sleeves that have artwork on them. It's just one of the nicest packaging on an album. And maybe this is part of that album art vinyl tag that I might do later on. But I think there's something to be said if someone goes an extra mile when you're paying in Canada $40 to $60 for a record. If they go a little bit further to make a really nice package, I think there's something of value to that. So, I had bought more than just that Springsteen record, but of all the ones I bought this year, aside from the Nebraska box set, this was the one that I just went, wow, that's something.
So he recorded that during COVID? Is that when?
No, this would have been before because we went into lockdown in early 2020, and this came out in 2020. So I would assume he probably did it in 2019, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Hard to say. I really like it though. It to me it's up there with it's up there with Tunnel of Love, and it's up there with Darkness on the Edge of Town. Like they're good rock records, I think. So I enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
So have you ever actually said holy moly? Well, generally I prefer something a little more colorful, but this is a family show and we don't like to swear on here because I've never done that.
I went to look to see that other song by the band I was talking about, and I swear to God, as I was looking through one of the albums, it was not the right one. There was a song called Holy Shit, and it was just slightly after you said it. So there you go.
There you go.
Yeah. But I Was a Teenage Anarchist is the other.
Yes.
Call it. So
that song.
Yeah.
Okay. Daryl.
Okay. Up next. A band that I was quite familiar with one of their songs. We're going to get back to some Canadian content here. So I was familiar with their main hit from, I think it's 93 or something like that. And then I bought this as one of the only record store day purchases I've ever got. It is a compilation, but I think for me, so this is Harum Scarum. Canadian band. I did find out though that there is a Scottish band also called Harum Scarum, but I don't know what kind of music they are. So this is their anthology volume 1, and there's a track on it that opens it up, No Justice, which was their big hit. I think, like I said, in 92 or 93, something like that. But I'd never heard any of their other music. The way that I would explain this band, I guess, is good old Canadian rock music, but kind of like that Firehouse style. It's got some of the the sappy hair metal band ballads and stuff like that. But this, to me, this is a banger. It took me a little bit to get used to side 2 on this, but this band for me is just, this is actually, I would probably say, my most played album of 2025. this is always going. It is a gatefold with the cool looking logo in the middle, all the lyrics and all that. But yeah, I mean, this is just to me straight up the Canadian version of. They're not fully Firehouse, but I would say the Canadian version or akin to say Firehouse.
That's
That's
fair.
how it reminds me of. And because it was a record store day purchase, it came on the clear vinyl.
Ooh.
Very nice.
Coke bottle clear, whatever they call it.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, if you haven't heard Harem Scarum, at least check out No Justice, because that's a really good song. And it went top 40, I believe, in Canada. If not on the RPM, at least the mainstream charts. So yeah.
Deadly.
Not a new band, but the album I'd only heard, like I said, I only heard the one song by them.
It's good.
Good stuff. All right, Joe.
Okey-doke. This is a band that I saw open for Split Ends, who some may know. You may also know them that they turned into, or at least a couple of them turned into Crowded House. So this is way back. This is getting in my way back machine. This would be from where is it? Good Lord. Why can I never find the goddamn dates on these albums? I don't know. It's from the 80s, and it is the Payolas. They opened up for the band Split Ends back in the day. They had, I think, an EP out before this. I had not heard of that. All I'd heard was Eyes of a Stranger, which, is still one of my favorite songs. It's just well done. But they were very, very good. Bob Rock, Paul Hyde, lead singer Bob Rock on the bass, turned into a producer that some of you may have heard of, but really good. And then they went on to a fairly decent career as well. They also turned into Paul Hyde or Rockin' Hyde, Paul Hyde and the Payolas, because they got shit for being called the Payolas. And if you don't know what the word Payola means, look it up. You don't need me to explain it. But out of Vancouver, and I've said it before, I wish there was an option to see these guys again if Paul still sounds good. I heard him sing a little while ago, still sounded fine, but they have never kind of gotten on that summer little festival tour that I would love to see them get on. But always a fan, continue to be a fan of Paul Hyde, Bob Rock, and the other two dudes who happen to be Lawrence Wilkins and Christopher Taylor and Mick Ronson. But I don't think it's that Mick Ronson is on keyboards on here. So the Payolas, really good stuff. And I saw them open for Split Ends way back in the day.
Okay. This is a record I got. It was some VCLT, and it's an artist I have never heard of. I mentioned earlier my buddy Keith, Tack from Down Under. Go check him out. He sent me this. This is Paul Kelly's Greatest Hits, 85 to 2019. No, it is not trumpet music, although that's what you might think. There you go. There's some, it kind of looks like an old, it could be like an old jazzy kind of thing. No. Keith said, I think, excuse me, I think you would really like this. And Paul Kelly is a fairly revered. He's received the Order of Australia. So, it's kind of like the Order of Canada. It's a big deal. He is a rock singer, songwriter, and guitar player. So I would make it akin to somebody like Barney Bentall for us Canadians, right? Maybe Tom Cochrane kind of thing. So absolutely right in my wheelhouse. Keith sent me this, which was awfully, awfully nice of him. And it's great. I would never have heard of this guy had it not been for connections I've made in the vinyl community. So it was great. Love it. Love it. Right in my wheelhouse.
Excellent.
I will say, if you hadn't told us that is like Tom Cochrane and Barney Bentall based on that cover,
right?
Not a chance I would have bought that album.
Exactly. I looked at it and I went,
you probably thought he was joking.
Because it looks, this looks like, pictures from the beach from, like the 50s or whatever. And I'm like, this guy grew up to be like a trumpet player in a big band kind of thing, or jazzy trumpet or, Duke Ellington or, I don't know. Yeah, it's not. It's not. Very much enjoy it. So, very cool.
Yeah.
Record on saying every time I hear Rock and Hide, I imagine guys sneaking on stage, rocking at a few notes, then sneaking off. That's hilarious. I love that.
That's good. I like it. Very nice.
I do too.
Rock
All
and
right,
Hide, Dirty Water is a fantastic song.
Yeah.
They have a lot of good songs for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got 3 records left. What do you guys got?
I got 4, but
What are you there, Daryl?
I picked out 14. I've got 6.
Jesus. All right. Well, we'll go
We
around.
can do
around
a couple, one more and
times.
then a speed round,
Sure.
or 2 more and a speed.
Yeah, we'll see how the time goes. All right. Daryl.
All right, we are going to call this one a rediscovery. That's what we're going to call this. This isn't an album that I hadn't heard before, but it's an album, and you guys are not going to object to this because I think both. I know Rob, you really like this one, and I think Joe, you like it as well. Although I think you said one of the songs you could do without, but this album from start to finish, it's a banger. It's a concept album, whatever you want to call it. My dad used to play it when I was younger. And I rediscovered it this year by playing it again, and that's Meatloaf's "Bat Out of Hell."
Yes.
It's a banger from start to finish. It's an amazing album, and sex appeal right there. Meatloaf and the girl and the other guy in the background. But like I said, this is nothing new. We all know it, but sometimes you just haven't heard an album in so long that it almost seems new again. And that's kind of what I felt like when I was listening to Bat Out of Hell is just the rediscovery of it and how fantastic the whole thing actually is.
I walked back my comment of I had heard Paradise by the Dashboard Light too many times because then I heard it and went, okay, fuck it, I don't care. I love it. It's still good. I have heard it too many times. But yeah, you and I have lamented about that album before. I just love that album from the day that I heard it. And then you weren't around because it was back in the mid 70s, but they actually showed a bunch of concert footage of that album getting made, like where he's got the white handkerchief, like you see the videos still, and she's singing and he's playing and it's just good. It's theatrical rock done really, really well. Of course, Jim Steinman, a big part of that. But yeah, I love that album, and I can still put that album on and enjoy every second of it. I love the title track. I really took the words right out of my mouth. Is a great song, and the little intro, the whole 9 yards. It's just good. I really, really like that album a lot.
I was trying to find the damn year like you were trying to do. I was 2 years old when that came out.
Yeah, well, yeah. So
but it's like I said, my dad played it when I was a kid, and I hadn't heard it in so long that it's like I said, when I put it on the record player for the first time, it was like the first time I heard it all over again. It was just fantastic. So
and I don't know,
nothing new, but a really cool rediscovery.
I don't know if it's my memory playing tricks on me or not, but I seem to remember like it was just so massive at the time that they showed his concert on like CTV on a Saturday night. They just put the concert on there again back in 77 or 8 or whenever. But yeah, just it's great. And then you know what? Part 2 is probably, it's not equally as good, but it's damn close. Part 2 is really, really good. They got their shit together twice for sure, him and Steinman. More than that, but on 2 pretty solid albums. So
yeah.
Me. Okay, I saw these guys open up for Motley Crue. Motley Crue sucked this time. I'd seen them before. They were really good. And if you know my affection for AC/DC, it's not a big stretch to enjoy the band Airborne because they are kind of very similar. Not AC/DC light, that's not fair. But you know what? I've always said this. If I sound like AC/DC, I'd be making music too. Kind of like the guy that gets all the grief from Greta Van Fleet. If I sounded like Robert Plant enough to make an album and sound like Robert Plant, why the hell wouldn't I? But anyway, I digress. Oh, look at that. Oh, yeah, it's covered. We're okay. There's a gatefold for you. That
There it is.
Yeah.
She doesn't have any spaghetti though.
She does not.
Nope.
But there are one 3/4 way full bottle of Jack Daniels, one completely empty bottle of Jack Daniels, 4 beer, some cash as well. But no way, but the hard way, blonde, bad, and beautiful, which I think is what they're shooting for there. That's kind of Ali Larder a little bit there, isn't it, Rob? Maybe a little bit Landman for you there.
Well,
Maybe.
not. Let's not get carried away here.
Okay, all right, fine. But yeah, Airborne. I really like them. They're great. I saw them open for Crew. They were way better than Motley Crue that night. I wouldn't say that all the time because Crew was pretty good the time before that I saw them when they were somewhat healthy. Vince could still sing. Tommy wasn't a complete asshole, but good stuff out of Australia, the band Airborne. If you are an AC/DC fan and you have not heard of Airborne, you should listen to Airborne because it's not fair to compare them to them, but it's comparable. They know that. AC/DC knows that. Everybody knows that. It's just what it is. But again, if I was from Australia and I could sound like AC/DC, I'd sound like AC/DC too. So,
As they say, imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
correct. That's right.
So,
Yep.
okay. I'm going to show something that is going to get me laughed at, which I'm not shy about. I've shown Taylor Swift and Spice Girls and stuff, so I don't really care. Because I always say you like what you like. And this is an album that is not what you think it is. But when I heard it, I went, damn, that is a very enjoyable record and not at all what I expected. And never in a million years did I think I would buy a K-pop record. So you've heard that stupid song APT?
Yeah.
That's her. That's Rosie. She's a member of Blackpink, which is a K-pop girl group. Again, not my thing. APT, not my thing. I heard of her. Do you know where I heard of her, Joe? Because she was she had a song in the F1 movie.
Yeah.
Brad Pitt F1 movie.
Yeah.
And I went, wow. I was intrigued. This little Korean girl that has an incredible voice, beautiful singer. She writes her own stuff. She actually plays instruments. And I just went, I did not expect that from the person that does APT. So I thoroughly enjoy this record. Toxic Till the End. There's some other songs in here. And the font is way too small for me to read. But it was the song she did in the F1 movie that I just went, wow, that girl can sing. And I bought the record and I listened to it with some regularity. It's not APT. That's all I'm going to say. It's got a beautiful voice, and I respect that she's a singer and a songwriter, and she plays some instruments, which doesn't happen so much these days. That gets overshadowed by the fact that she's part of Blackpink, which is a manufactured commercial bullshit K-pop group. So there you go. Laugh at me all you want. It's okay.
Nope.
Oh.
We like
That's a
what
good
we
one.
like. We like what we like.
Like what we like.
Exactly.
So
My youngest son would be all over that. He loves
yeah,
that.
it's shocked. And actually, there's some videos of her on YouTube playing at the Grammy Museum, just her with an acoustic guitar, and I think there's some with a snare drum. And again, just a beautiful voice of an angel. You know, people say, and yeah, she just has this wonderful, wonderful voice, and I really like it. So there you go.
That Chris Stapleton song in that movie just kicks ass too. It's not a bad soundtrack. It's an eclectic soundtrack a little bit, but
the movie was, for me, entertaining but very disappointing. And you and I, as F1 fans, have talked about why I hated that movie. I didn't hate it, but it's like, come on, you couldn't have written a realistic story. Oh.
Yeah, they were writing it more for the non-F1 fans than anything. But
it was the F1 Days of Thunder is what it was.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But as far as, again, sidetrack, but real quick, I have met more people that have been turned on to F1 from Drive to Survive than I thought that had been. because it's a real thing. And these people are diehard. Like there's a couple of friends of mine that I didn't know they're going to Montreal to watch the F1 race. And they started with, hey, what's this? And they watched that Drive to Survive show. And there's another guy too, same thing. Oh yeah, I love it. How come? Because I started watching Drive to Survive.
Well, it's funny, right? Because it's a European sport, let's be honest.
Sure.
And I started watching F1 in 1985 when I was 7, because my dad was an F1 fan. And I picked a team and I followed that team for 30 years till I dumped them and went to Aston Martin. But anyway, I digress. When I was a teenager and even in my 20s, I did not know another single person that watched F1. And the only race in North America was in Montreal. And it's this massive market of 400 million people that had zero interest in F1. And they've done a great job. Now I know tons of people that watch F1 regularly. So
good. They kind of got away from the plot a little bit. They tried to screw with it a bit and Drive to Survive and make rivalries and shit. No, you don't need it. Just show the product. But anyway, not why we're here. But
this is not an F1 episode. But if you want us to do one, Joe and I absolutely
we could probably do that too. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
All right, let's go around again. We got time. Let's go around one more time.
Okay.
Make it a turbo round.
I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to show another album that was a rediscovery for me, and then I'll finish off with ones that either were new or I'd never seen before. So, Joe, I had actually asked you about this album and how much it might cost to purchase if I was to get it from another store or whatever it is. And then I found a copy of it online, and it was a decent price, so I bought it. And that's Live's Mental Jewelry album. So this is the one that came out before Throwing Copper. Personally, I think the first 4 albums, maybe the first 5, are really good by Live, and then it kind of takes a dip from there. But this is their first full studio album, and I remember getting this on CD when I was in high school, and with one of my ex-girlfriends, we used to listen to this all the time and just whatnot. And I think her brother had a copy of it, and not a lot of songs that people would know. They weren't mainstream hits, but Pain Lies on the Riverside, Operation Spirit, The Beauty of Grey, You Are the World is a really good one. But it's just kind of when Live started to do so their lead singer, Ed Kowalczyk, who's the one at the top there, kind of takes on this persona like he's some kind of a godlike figure, which some people don't like about him. He's kind of a little bit high on himself at times, kind of broke apart the band later on. But, he started to go all Zen and almost into I don't want to call it Buddhist-like, but he used to do a lot of that spiritual meditation and all that. And a lot of the music is based on that. But anyway, make a long story short, it was a rediscovery. I hadn't heard this whole album since 1995, 96. So it's not that long ago. It's just, once again, when you haven't heard something in so long, it just almost becomes like hearing it for the first time again. And that's what I really liked about this one. And it's a fantastic album. If you like that 1990s, definitely alternative sound. If you're familiar with Throwing Copper, it's much different than that album, but still really good. The beginnings of Live. So I'm glad that I found it, and I found it for a decent price. So give it a shot.
Yeah, for the lack of hits on that one, they made up for it on Throwing Copper. That's a pretty solid album all the way through.
Yeah, Throwing Copper, and then the follow-up to that, Secret Samadhi. I mean, those are absolute fantastic albums. I wish I could get Secret Samadhi, but that's a hard one to find.
Yeah, you got to pay for that one for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, are we doing this and another, or what are we doing?
Let's make this the last round. So you got any more you want to show there?
Oh, this is the last round, so speed round?
Yeah, because we got 10 minutes and then we got a break before Joe's game show.
Fair enough. Okay, so that was a rediscovery. This one here, I got when I raged out the CHMO radio station. But Alan Parsons Project, the only track that I knew by this guy obviously is Eye in the Sky, which is the title track on this. And of course the Sirius that precedes it, which is the Chicago Bulls theme song. But this whole album is super. It's really good. Like when people say, "Oh, that's prog rock or whatever it is," it's not even anywhere the same as that 70s prog. Really good stuff. This one I got for $1 at a flea market or something like that. Gary Myrick and the Figures, called "Living in a Movie." It's kind of like new wave, early 1980s stuff, but there's a song on here. Can't remember the name of it. I think it's called Romance, if I remember right. I think that's the one. Anyway, it's a really cool song. So if you haven't heard this guy, Gary Myrick and the Figures, and you like early 80s new wave pop music, pretty good stuff. I got this in Grand Bend, Ontario at their Sunday flea market. A band called Jaluka. I talked about them before. The album is called Scatterlings. They're like I would call it folk world music. They're from Africa. I think it's Ghana. But the way that I describe it is the Paul Simon Diamonds on the Soles of Her Shoes. That's what that kind of music reminds me of. And then I got two other ones. Some people are going to go, "What do you mean you have not heard the entire Achtung Baby album?" And the reality is, I was talking with Rob about this before the show. It's one of those cases where I knew Who's Gonna Ride Your Wild Horses. I knew, what is it, one? And the other one, I forget what it is. Anyway, I knew the big hits from high school, but I'd never heard the whole album. And it's a banger. It's got tons of good stuff. And then the last one, I had won a Japanese one, or not a Japanese one. I didn't win it. Peter from Music is a Journey had sent me the Japanese copy of this with the Obi strip. Big Country, The Crossing. I'm still trying to figure this one out, though. I like it, but I don't like it, if that makes sense. I'm kind of in the middle on this one, but what's super cool about this one is that Peter at Music is a Journey sent me this as a VCLT, the Japanese one with the Obi strip, and then I was at Value Village. I got this for $1.99 at Value Village. I mean, you're not going to find this in any record store, and this is in probably near mint condition from a Value Village. I'd say I got a pretty good deal on that for $1.99. So those are my picks.
Cool.
Awesome.
Discoveries.
Well, that was kind of a cool logo on that one album. That U2 album was kind of a cool logo from the record store you got that from.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Let's finish off with three bands. Well, yeah, you know what? I've showed these guys, these girls a lot lately, but I'll show them quick again. It's the Beaches.
Yes.
They opened up for the Glorious Sons. They were fantastic live. They continue to make good music as well. I saw them on that first album with, Itty Bitty Titty Committee and Sweater and things like that, or my T-shirt, pardon me. Not Sweater. That's a completely different song by also a female artist. But anyway, they're good. Out of Canada, out of Hamilton, I believe, if I remember correctly, and good. The Beaches, really good stuff.
Do you have the new album yet, Joe?
I don't have the new album yet.
No, me neither.
Not yet.
I need to get it.
But I will. Exactly. These guys have been around forever. But again, when I saw them, they were fairly new. I think She Sells Sanctuary was out already, but that was it. But they opened for Billy Idol on his Whiplash Smile tour forever ago. Really great stuff. And then I saw them again where they were the headliner for Electric, the next album. But yeah, really, really good. Ian Ashbury and company from the Cult back in the day. This one is from, again, I don't know. 1985. This time I can find it, 1985. So they opened up for Billy Idol. And then these guys opened up for Aerosmith. And again, this album was out. The one song was kind of a hit already, 18 in Life. But the rest of this album is fantastic. I like the next album. After Sebastian Bach left, I didn't have a lot of love for them anymore. And then I'm not exactly sure about Sebastian half the time anymore these days either. He's gone a little crazy as well. But there you go, some good 80s hair metal whatever you want to call it, but Youth Gone Wild, all that good stuff, 18 in Life, Rattlesnake Shake. So from seeing them open for Aerosmith, they put on a really good show. Aerosmith was really good that time too. They were clean and sober. It was Permanent. No, I think it was Pump. Actually, I was going to say Permanent Vacation, but that was White Lion, another band of the kind of the same ilk. But yeah, this was when these guys opened for them on the Pump tour and were very good. So again, some old bands, but thanks. I've seen a lot of openers that I've enjoyed, but there's some that have really stuck with me, and there's a few.
Okay, I got two left here. This is an artist I would not have known about had it not been for another artist. I have talked a lot this year about Adam Baldwin and his album Concertos and Serenades. And when you watch my vinyl tag, it's in there more than once. It sort of pays homage to an East Coast singer-songwriter named Stan Rogers. Kind of hard to see, but there's the title there. Stan Rogers was, kind of Gordon Lightfoot-esque in that he was kind of a storyteller, singer-songwriter, fiercely proud Eastern Canadian. And he died tragically on an Air Canada flight that the plane caught fire, and he died in the plane on the tarmac down in Arkansas or something like that. Quite tragic back in the 80s. But this is really good because I like Lightfoot, and I like that sort of Canadian singer-songwriter thing. So had it not been for Adam Baldwin, I would not have discovered Stan Rogers, who is great, or was great, I guess I should say. And I'm going to close this out with an artist I've known about since I was a kid because he was one of my dad's favorite, and that's Delaney and Bonnie Bramlett. I have all of their albums except for one. I still need Motel Shot. I just haven't found it. This is their album To Bonnie from Delaney, which is their second or third studio album. There was a live album in there as well. They had a lot of famous friends. I mean, they played with Clapton and Harrison and a bunch of others. And this is a great record from 1970. Of note on here, Duane Allman from the Allman Brothers is their guitar player. Jim Gordon plays piano. He was on, I believe, Derek and the Dominoes. Little Richard, Tutti Frutti, that guy, played piano on this album. And this is just that great sort of, I don't know what you call that kind of rock music, but that, if it was made today, you'd call it rock revival. I don't know what you would have called it back then, but that Duane Allman's on it. So, and they played with Eric Clapton. So that gives you kind of an idea. We've talked about people who are dicks. He's a dick, but made great music. They divorced, and their daughter was the lead singer of Fleetwood Mac for one album. But anyway, this is, I love all of their albums. And this is another one of them has a great song in here called Soul Shake, as the little teaser says on here, but just great rock and roll. There you go. That was our discoveries, the highlights of our discoveries, new artists, new albums, whatever. So that was a lot of fun. We'll go around the horn real quick, and then we'll talk about Joe's upcoming music game show. So, Daryl, what's going on your channel?
So on my channel, I put out a whole pile of vinyl tag videos these days. So the Chris from Record Talk, he did a 45 RPM vinyl tag. Mine dropped this morning. Previous to that, I did the album art one from Vinyl Voyage, plus my own Canadian Stereotypes vinyl tag that I put out, which I encourage everybody to try. You don't need to show Canadian records, just try to fit the theme as best as you can. And I did my own vinyl tag for 2026 just before that. So like you, Rob, I'm almost vinyl tagged out, but there's a couple more that I want to do. Yep. There's a couple little things, and other than that, there's not a lot going on. Like I said, I dropped a whole pile of videos, bang, bang, bang. and guaranteed it'll take another few weeks before I throw out another video. So that's where we're at. And I'm going to be on in half an hour for a trivia game show.
Joe, you actually put a video on your channel.
I did Daryl's Canadian stereotypes thread. So yeah, I did that. That's about it. That might be all I do for a while. We'll see. It's not for a lack of not wanting to do them. I just haven't got to a lot of stuff, but I like to try and jump on every once in a while when I can. And then people go, oh, he's still alive. Those that don't see me here. So that's kind of cool. And yes, Trevor, I didn't say Black Tea because I've talked about Black Tea a lot, but folks, check out the band Black Tea. The album's over there. I won't show it to you again, but make sure you check out the band out of Regina, Black Tea. They're fantastic. Yeah, one video every couple of months. You know what the hell keeps everybody guessing and wondering, but there will be some new content coming up in the next little while.
So Record Hound, you should do it, man. Make a video every now and then. Go for it. We want to see what you got. So
and the vinyl tag's a great way to get into it, right? Yeah,
it's fun stuff.
So Joe, you want to tell folks about your music game show that was going to debut next week?
Sure. Well, you didn't say what you've been up to, or do you want to do that after?
I'll do it after.
Okay. So yeah, tonight we're going to do something in about a half an hour. It'll be on my channel. So Racer Records. Again, I think almost everybody here, pretty sure everybody here knows where to find that and have subscribed. Daryl and Rob, and I still need a third as a contestant to play. It's going to be Jeopardy-like. We can't call it Jeopardy because that would be illegal and that will get us strikes. So I don't think so. But anyway, it's a revival of what I was trying to do a while ago with the game show, but it's a little more interactive. It's going to be a little more fun. Tonight is not going to be all rock and roll questions. I've got a bunch of those ready, but I'm going to save those for its real debut next week. But want to do a bit of a run through. You guys are nice enough to come on, and hopefully we can find a third. We'll just do a little
beta test.
Test and tune. Exactly. Yeah. A little test and tune. So it's going to be just general knowledge stuff tonight. So if you're out there thinking about it, A, at least come over and watch and hang out with us for a little while. B, if you want to join, let me know. I'll get you the links for the StreamYard and for the buzzer that you got to have to play. So there you go.
Cool. As for me, I did the unofficial vinyl tag, the response to David Atkinson. It's done. It's ready to go. I literally just have to upload it. So I got busy today, so I didn't upload it today, but it'll be up by tomorrow. So that was a lot of fun. Then I'm going to do Daryl's Canadian Stereotypes vinyl tag, and I'm going to do it all with Canadian artists. And then I got to do Sam's Americana vinyl tag, and I'm probably going to do the album art vinyl tag. And then that's it for vinyl tags, unless someone comes out with one that blows my mind. But because I will be vinyl tagged out by that point in time. But anyway, I'll have the unofficial vinyl tag up tomorrow. So. Brian, enjoyed the show as I sit here and work at my desk while listening. Thanks, man. I love that you tune in on a Thursday morning over in Tokyo. Thank you.
Yes, and if you're not subscribed to Tokyo Record Style, do for sure. And good night, Trevor.
Absolutely. Yeah, man. Record Hound, love to see you do a video, man. If us idiots can get on here and talk about stuff, anybody could do it. So it would be fun to see. All right, that's it for us. We'll be back next week. Hopefully we'll have a guest with us talking about something else. Thank you for tuning in and spending a couple hours with us. And for folks that are going to watch this later, we appreciate that as well. In half an hour's time or 25 minutes time over at Racer Records, we're going to do a dry run of Joe's new game show, which next week will be his new rock and roll quiz show. But we're going to do a beta test. So we're looking for one more person to join us. But go on over to Racer Records in about 25 minutes. So
yep,
that's it. Thanks, everyone. We will see you next week. Have a great night. We'll see you then.
Good evening.